you are committed to finding solutions for building a more inclusive, just, and peaceful future, please pop up. Thank you. Thank you, and you have come to the right place.
Whether we're working with kindergartners or corporate executives, whether we're working for a whole week at the outdoor school, or whether we're working just this morning at the community fundraising brunch, what we're always doing is building this pyramid of peace. Our music is a summary of what we teach, and this pyramid is a summary of what we teach. And we know that this is a solution that works, because now we've worked with over 10,000 students in our outdoor school, and thank you. And with over 50,000 people in all of our programs combined. So we know that it works. So here, to take you up this pyramid of peace, we have our very own fabulous peacemakers, Emily Abad and Mark Yanes.
Okay, so if Mark and I are in a conflict, I have to remember that it's not Mark and me against each other, but it's the two of us against the problem. Imagine a Congress that understood that. But I also have to remember that that principle won't work, and neither will these fabulous 5 tools without being assertive, which is my favorite. So being assertive is not being passive. Being passive is like if I let Mark invade my space. That's me being passive. Being assertive is also not being aggressive. Being aggressive is like if I were to invade Mark's space. That's me being aggressive. Being assertive is when I don't invade Mark's space, but I don't let him invade my space either. I'm being strong without being mean and protecting myself. But it's also not like I've got this brick wall up where I'm like, talk to the hand, because that's a little aggressive. But it's more like I have a bubble around me, like a protective, assertive bubble, where through this bubble I can still reach out, and I can still connect with Mark. I can respect and connect and empathize. But it's about so much more than just body language, like I showed you. It's so much more, and I feel so strongly about assertive communication that we did something that we always do when we feel so strongly about something. Do you know what we did?
What'd you do?
You prepared a skit. You made a brunch.
I did, no. What did we do?
What did she do?
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
You wrote a song!
Oh, we wrote a song. You got me calm, cool, confident, and clear.
So now, to give you a glimpse into the outdoor school from a kid's perspective, I would like to bring out my student.
My grand student,
Tyla!
My name is Tyla, and I would like to share my experience at Mosaic. I was a very scared 4th grader whose biggest fear was to sleep away from home. At Mosaic, I met my cabin leaders, Clarissa and Ingrid, and my cabin friend, Cara. They were very welcoming, kind, and caring. They encouraged me to face my fear and overcome it by being there for me and having me express my feelings by talking it out. I also got to meet new friends from different schools. The cool part was we got to do different activities. My favorite was the big campfire where we sang songs and told stories. Mosaic teaches you great things that you will need in life. It taught me how to be respectful, open-minded, have self-respect, good attitude, individuality, and how to be a great community. I learned why prejudice, discrimination, and violence are big problems. And I learned about real solutions like how to be an ally, assertiveness, empathy, and the tools for conflict resolution. I will remember Mosaic for the rest of my life.
I'm Charlotte, and I am a youth leader up at the Mosaic Project. I was also a student when I was in 4th grade. Mosaic has always been an outlet for me where I could be a part of a diverse, non-judgmental community, which is really hard to come by at 16 years old. I grew up in Marin and went to a school that was very white and privileged. I use my Mosaic values every day, and because of Mosaic, I have become more accepting and more of an empathetic person. Before going to Mosaic, I didn't fully understand the severity of topics of segregation, violence, and discrimination, because I was never taught them in my community. Mosaic was the first time I was integrated with peers who didn't look like, talk like, or act like me, or my friends. It was the first time I had the opportunity to empathize with people who came from totally different backgrounds. What Mosaic does, which is bring together 4th and 5th graders from different backgrounds to create friendships and educate them about the wider world, is what creates solutions for a better world. Mosaic teaches us that every person in every community is needed to come together to create a peaceful world and to create change. It makes me wonder if I had not participated in the Mosaic Project, the type of fear I'd be living towards people who act different, talk different, and look differently than I do. A fear where I cannot empathize or become friends with them. Segregation is the opposite of the solution when we are trying to create a world filled with peace. Thank you.
MCP captures the essence of what these testimonials have described today and brings the imagination, wonder, and excitement of the outdoor school to your work. MCP brings unique value to the workplace and provides a significant source of funding for our youth programs, so it's really a win-win situation for everyone. We currently do MCP programs in corporate offices, community-based organizations, and universities. This fall, we work with incoming freshmen at the University of California, Santa Cruz, and it is my great pleasure and honor to introduce UCSC's Associate College Administrative Officer, Seth Hodge, to describe our program there.
The students walked away from Mosaic with a new language, a new understanding of what it means to be a part of a community. And the immediate impact was apparent. But we all know that there can be a honeymoon phase. So we waited. Next week, we'll be wrapping up our second quarter of the academic year, and I'm proud to share that our instances of hate bias went from 12 reported instances last year to so far 0 this year. I am also proud to share that our first quarter's conduct numbers in general went from 260 cases last year to 124 this year. In addition to that, less than 25% of the cases this year involved our first-year students who had gone through the Mosaic program, whereas traditionally, in the first quarter, 80% of cases roughly involve first-year students. Now, I'm not one to grandstand or make grandiose claims, and I'm not going to say that this is changing the entire world at this moment. But what I will say is that Mosaic is changing individuals. And those individuals are the people who are going to go out and change the world in the future.
As soon as I drove down that long driveway, pulling up to the Mosaic Outdoor School, I felt my life being changed. I was breathing in air I've never breathed in before. I was immediately welcomed by the diverse staff and youth leaders alike. I knew that this was the place I needed to be. I felt safe and positive. I felt like there was no judgment and there was a weight being lifted off of my shoulders. For the first time, I felt like I can break those boxes and the stereotypes that other people put on me. I felt like I can be free. I felt like I can actually start being my quirky, silly self and finally be accepted. I was supposed to be at Mosaic for just 1 week the first time I went up. I didn't leave for the rest of the 6-week season. And now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I've ever left since. It's all good, though. That was in the fall of 2011. Since then, I've been a youth leader several times, an intern in the High Fit, which is a head intern facilitator in training, a position they had to create just for me so I can stay a little longer. And finally, Laura gave me the call and said, "Did you want to be a staff at the outdoor school?" I said yes. I feel like the person that I am today is mostly due to the fact that I've had Mosaic in my life. Mosaic has shown me that the world just isn't a bad place full of bad people. No. It's a world full of misunderstood, hurt individuals like myself who just need help. Because of Mosaic, I'm able to get the root of my anger and overcome it. It's helped me face and ultimately acknowledge a lot of my hurt and anger, where it comes from. It's based on the fact that my father has been incarcerated since I've been a kid. I was sad. I was sad that my dad wasn't around. I was angry because people would make assumptions of why he was there and what he did. It's only recent that I've been able to talk to people and express my feelings. Give me a quick second. It's because of Mosaic that I'm able to stand right here today and talk to y'all. Mosaic represents hope. Mosaic, I can honestly say that I've not only seen kids and teenagers' lives change, I've also seen adults' lives change by being here. For me, helping all kinds of people brings light to the main issues in the world. Understanding that segregation, stereotypes, and racism are not okay, and that as a people we can come together to change that. Showing kids that at a young age, you could talk about your feelings. You could dress however you'd like, hang out with somebody that looks completely different than you, and feel free to be who you want to be. Mosaic is much more than a peace program. It's a place to open up and evolve into something that you want yourself and others to love every day.
Let's start with you. And let me hear y'all hit the high note.